Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I'm delighted to see so many of you here today. Today, we will be exploring the fascinating world of troubleshooting and technology transfer. My name is Dr. S.K. Singh, and I hold a PhD in this field. On this first slide, I want to give you a brief overview of what we will cover. We'll look into common challenges faced during technology transfer and discuss effective solutions. I promise it will be an insightful session, so let's get started. Let's take a closer look at what troubleshooting in tech transfer really means. Essentially, it involves a systematic investigation of deviations, failures, and unexpected results that can occur during the transfer process. The goal here is to identify and address issues before they impact the overall success of transferring the process, product, or analytical methods. Troubleshooting is crucial because it helps ensure that the process remains reproducible, meaning we can consistently produce the same quality product. It also prevents batch failures, which can be costly and time-consuming. Additionally, effective troubleshooting supports maintaining regulatory compliance, ensuring that everything meets the necessary standards and guidelines. Most importantly, it plays a vital role in successful validation, confirming that the transfer process works reliably and effectively. Remember, poor tech transfer can lead to serious consequences, product failures, delays in the timeline, and increased costs. That's why having a solid troubleshooting approach is essential for smooth, efficient, and compliant technology transfer. Let's talk about some common issues we encounter in tech transfer. One major challenge is process deviations, which happen when the actual process doesn't follow the planned steps, leading to inconsistencies. Scale-up failures are another problem. When moving from small-scale experiments to full production, things can go wrong if not carefully managed. Analytical variability, or differences in test results, can also create uncertainty about product quality. Equipment differences between facilities can introduce unexpected variables, making it harder to achieve consistent outcomes. And of course, documentation gaps, missing or incomplete records, can cause significant issues down the line. Even small errors or missing knowledge can really impact the final product quality, which is why understanding the root causes of these problems is so important. Often, problems stem from incomplete knowledge transfer. If information isn't fully shared, errors are more likely. Poor documentation practices also contribute, making it hard to trace issues or replicate processes accurately. Incorrect assumptions during planning can lead us down the wrong path, and a lack of standardization across teams or sites can create variability that's hard to control. Ultimately, knowledge gaps and poor documentation slow down the transfer process and create vulnerabilities. Addressing these areas is key to ensuring a smooth, successful tech transfer that results in high-quality products every time. Let's take a closer look at some of the key tools used in root cause analysis. First, we have the fishbone diagram, also known as the Ishikawa diagram. This tool helps us visually map out potential causes of a problem, categorizing them to identify where issues might be stemming from. It's particularly useful for complex problems with multiple contributing factors. Next, there's the 5 whys analysis. This is a simple yet powerful technique where we ask, why repeatedly, usually 5 times, to drill down to the root cause of an issue. It encourages us to look beyond surface symptoms and find the underlying problem. Then we have FMEA, which stands for Failure Mode Effects Analysis. This systematic approach helps us evaluate potential failures in a process, understand their effects, and prioritize risks. It's vital for proactive quality management and preventing issues before they happen. Lastly, fault tree analysis is a top-down method that starts with a specific failure and works backwards to identify all possible causes. It's like constructing a logical map that pinpoints the root of a problem by analyzing various contributing factors. Remember, whichever tool we choose, documenting and traceability are essential, especially under GMP requirements, to ensure transparency and continuous improvement in our processes. Let's walk through the investigation process. First, we start by collecting data, which includes batch records and logs. This helps us gather all relevant information from the production process. Next, we compare the performance of the succession unit, or SU, versus the raw unit, or RU. This comparison can reveal differences or issues that might be causing problems. After that, we review critical process parameters, or CPPs, and critical quality attributes, or CQAs. This step ensures we understand which process variables are influencing product quality. We also interview personnel involved in the process, because their insights and first-hand knowledge are invaluable. It's important to remember that the World Health Organization emphasizes effective knowledge transfer and communication during this process. Clear communication helps us identify issues more efficiently. Now, when it comes to issue identification, we look at various sources. These include batch failures, out-of-specification or out-of-trend results, deviation reports, and validation failures. Each of these sources provides clues about where and why things went wrong. For example, an API batch might fail to meet impurity specifications. Recognizing such issues early allows us to target specific areas for investigation. Overall, this structured approach helps us systematically identify and address process deviations, ensuring product quality and compliance. Let's talk about some common challenges we often face in quality management. One major issue is delayed identification of problems, which can really impact the overall process. When issues aren't spotted early, they tend to escalate and become harder to resolve. Another challenge is inadequate investigation. If we don't thoroughly analyze the root cause, we risk applying ineffective solutions that only address the symptoms, not the real problem. Poor cross-functional communication can also hinder our ability to resolve issues efficiently. When teams don't share information well, problems can slip through the cracks, delaying corrective actions. This is where corrective and preventive actions, or CAPA, come into play. Corrective action focuses on fixing the immediate issue. Like if there's a mixing inconsistency, we might modify the mixing speed or update the standard operating procedure. Preventive action, on the other hand, aims to prevent the issue from happening again in the future. So, it's about putting measures in place to avoid recurrence. For example, if we find mixing inconsistency, a CAPA could be to modify the mixing speed and update the SOP. It's important to remember that CAPA is mandatory under GMP quality systems. It ensures we're not just fixing problems, but learning from them to improve our processes continuously. Let's now discuss how we verify the effectiveness of the transfer process. First, we rerun batches to confirm that the results are consistent. If necessary, we perform revalidation to ensure ongoing reliability. Trend analysis is also crucial. It helps us identify any patterns or deviations over time. Remember, transfer is considered successful only if the regulatory unit can consistently reproduce the results, demonstrating robustness and reliability. Moving on to documentation, this is a key part of ensuring traceability and compliance. We need to keep detailed deviation reports that document any issues encountered during the process. Investigation reports are essential for understanding root causes of any problems. CAPA records show the corrective and preventive actions taken to address issues, while change control documentation captures any modifications made. All these documentation elements serve a vital purpose. They provide a clear record that the process was controlled, reproducible, and compliant with regulatory standards. This traceability is what builds confidence in our transfer process and ensures we meet all regulatory expectations. Let's look at this case study involving a tablet manufacturing transfer. The scenario we're dealing with is a dissolution failure that occurred at the RU site. Dissolution failures are critical because they directly impact how the drug releases its active ingredient, affecting efficacy and safety. The root cause identified was variation in the compression force during tablet production. This variation can cause inconsistencies in tablet density and integrity, leading to the dissolution issues we observed. To address this, the team focused on optimizing the compression parameters. By fine-tuning the compression force and ensuring consistency, we aim to eliminate the variability that was causing the problem. The result of these adjustments was the successful validation of production batches, demonstrating that the process could reliably produce tablets meeting all quality specifications. This case highlights the importance of understanding root causes and implementing targeted process improvements. It also illustrates how careful optimization can turn a challenge into a success, ensuring product quality and regulatory compliance during a manufacturing transfer. So, as we come to the conclusion, I want to emphasize that troubleshooting is absolutely critical for a successful tech transfer. When issues arise, having a solid approach to investigating them thoroughly can make all the difference. It's not just about fixing problems on the spot, but about understanding their root causes through a structured investigation process. Additionally, adopting a risk-based approach, like the principles outlined in ICH-Q9, helps us prioritize our efforts and focus on the most critical areas that could impact product quality and compliance. This way, we're not wasting time on minor issues, but addressing what truly matters for the product's success. And of course, a strong CAPA, or corrective and preventive action system, is essential. It ensures that corrective actions are effective and that we prevent similar issues from recurring in the future. All of these elements work together to ensure that we maintain product quality, stay compliant with regulations, and ultimately achieve successful commercialization. When troubleshooting is approached with these key principles, it supports the overall goal of a smooth and efficient tech transfer process. For further support, please feel free to contact us. We're here to help with any questions or additional information you might need after this presentation. And finally, I want to thank you all for your time and attention today. Your engagement is truly appreciated, and I hope you found the session valuable. Remember, we're just a contact away if you need anything moving forward. Thank you again, and have a great day.